good, ain't it? Yeah, man. You on it?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Good.
Sound is good.
Okay.
Okay, Shalom. GMS Holland together with GMS Germany en route on our way to the Royal African Museum in Belgium, Brussels. Before we start off, we want to give all praises, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakadash, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect out there that's spreading this word of sincerity and the truth all over the four corners of the earth. Gone. So we're gonna go into some random topics. You know, the brother pointed out this topic concerning that we are in a certain position right now that sometimes it's difficult to keep the laws. You know, there are certain laws that we are not even able to keep in this hellhole, but you gotta do the best to your ability. You know, as you gotta be the best that you can, so to speak, man. So give me Romans 3. Oh, you got a precept? Bring it out.
Judges 5:11. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the place of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of the villages in Israel.
Yeah, man. So we are in the place of drawing waters, which is slavery, man. We still in slavery. So this is where we are rehearsing the righteous acts of Yahweh. Because give me the book of Baruch, chapter 2. 2 and let me see. No, Baruch. It's Baruch. Let me see. Baruch chapter. Baruch chapter 2, verse 30. Wow. Yeah, 2 and 30. I was all over the place. I was not looking good. Baruch chapter 2, verse 30. So yeah, in the place of slavery, there we gonna rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh. So that's what we're doing, man. We are rehearsing the righteous acts, and we are learning about our inheritance, about who we were, you know, what we was doing back in the days. We are learning from the things that our forefathers went off with. You grab that Job chapter 8 verse 8 and you read the Baruch.
Book of Baruch chapter 2 verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of the captivities they shall remember themselves.
Exactly. So in the land of the captivity they shall remember themselves. So we are coming back into the commonwealth of Israel. The commonwealth of Israel is the things that were given unto us since the beginnings. You know, the things that were given to us by the Heavenly Father to Moses, from Moses to us. Those things, which is the Torah, the Tawara, which is the laws, from Genesis to what, Numbers? No, Genesis to it's like a Deuteronomy and Psalms even. And then you got the book of the prophets, which that completely is called the Tanakh. Okay, the Old Testament, the so-called Old Testament. Hey, Shalom, Elder Yah, Basham Yahushai, Basham Rakakadash, Brakatah. Shalom. Yeah, so that completely is the Tanakh. So that's given unto us, and we in those things we find things that wherewith kings went off, things wherewith the prophets, things that the prophets was telling unto the people and what they wanted to do unto the prophets. We got all these things to brought back to our remembrance, of which we can learn nowadays, man. We should learn. Okay, so read on.
You want the joke?
No, yeah, bring out the joke and then you read on in Baruch.
This is Job 8 and 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Yeah, so we have to look up the search of our fathers, man, which is our forefathers. For example, yesterday the Simeonite came to the camp and I asked him if he knew Samson, because what is the lesson we can get out of Samson? Don't spill the beans to your wife, man. Don't spill the beans to someone that is closest to you, which is the woman that laid in thy bosom. That's in the book of Micah, I believe. Micah chapter 4 verse 7, I believe. You know, so there are certain lessons that we can get out of the scriptures.
To help us walk.
Yeah, to help us walk in this truth, man.
And do the things that were found pleasing in the sight of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
That's right, that's right. Read your precept.
Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Yeah, break it down.
So yeah, man, what was written aforetime before us, like you just mentioned, Samson, Samuel, Moses, so on and so forth. Joshua. We have to learn from these examples what is right and what is wrong, what is pleasing Yahweh Hashem Yahushua's eyes and what not. And then we can conquer because we know how we have to conduct ourselves in certain manners.
Yeah, man. That's right.
And when you see like how the Lord used great men as examples, you know, he used David, he used Solomon, he used them as an examples to teach us, man.
Okay.
You know, and what does Esau say? Esau will tell you, forget the past, but then he'll raise up all of his monuments, throw all his Roman gods out there and everything. You know,
tell the secret to word and everything. I thought it was Frank. Yeah, read your precept.
This is the book of Sirach 2, verse 16. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law.
That's right. That's right, man. So when you come into this truth, you learn to love Yahweh Hashem Yahushua again. You study the scriptures and you being taught what the inheritance of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and Israel is all about. So then when that love gets greater and greater, you're gonna look for the commandments. You're gonna look to keep the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and look up the ways of your fathers, man.
Praise up.
Read.
This is Sirach 39, verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies.
That's heavy, man. That's a heavy scripture, man. That's a very good scripture, man. You will be occupied in the wisdom of ancient men. So that means dig into the scriptures, man. Dig into the scriptures, because you might come into this truth and just like some Christians, they say, yeah, only the New Testament. When you bring out something of the Old Testament, they be like, is that the Old Testament? Is that the Old Testament? Yeah, that's the Old Testament. So what? Yeah. That's old, because they did something subconsciously saying Old Testament, but it's just the First Testament and the Second Testament. You see? But they want to put that Old Testament in your mind like it's old, it's done away with, but it's not done away with, man. You see? So you got to look up the wisdom of ancient men. You got to look up the wisdom of King Solomon. We have the book of wisdom of Solomon. You got to look up the you got to see and look at the wisdom of Sirach. You know, you got to look up these things. You got to go into the Proverbs. You got to go into the Psalms. Those are not laws, those are not commandments, but it's wisdom. So you learn to apply those things day by day if you take heed to it, because it's just wisdom of men, and men that walked in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Can I say something else?
And when you read it, you know, you don't just read it. You actually try to make sure you understand by going to the etymology of words. You know, you're looking at, you know, because oftentimes when I first came into the truth, I would just read over things, and if I didn't understand it, I would just let it go.
Yeah.
You know, but then as I got stronger, you start to see like you can really build a stronger foundation when you go into the words. You get a stronger, like on the blue letter, a stronger meaning. I mean, a stronger way to understand it.
Can I say so?
Right.
Yeah, because the elder apostle Gabar, he spoke about that you gotta visualize what you're reading, you know, and there's a real strength in that. You know, when you just dive into the scriptures and you imagine that you're there.
Exactly.
Because
you got to.
You also with the missiles look like horses that are
running in the desert.
Galloping in the desert. That's like a missile, man. You see the dust behind them. You see it's a small pointed thing, you know.
Yeah, that's right, man. You got to visualize what you're reading, man. Like already back in the days when I read something or when someone told me a story, I would visualize it in my mind.
Like you was there.
That's why back in the days when I was dealing with girls and stuff like that, I always told them, like, don't tell me who you was with before me and stuff like that, because I'm gonna visualize things in my mind, that things I don't want to see. Don't tell me that bullshit, man. I don't want to know. Just keep it to yourself, you know, because you're gonna visualize it. But that's now with this woman Sophia, you gotta visualize it. You do have to visualize it, man. The things that was going on and how our forefathers was sometimes walking in the spirit and sometimes not, man. And then what happened that made them go off, you know. So I got a quick precept. This is Sirach chapter 5 verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything, in a great matter or a small. You know, and the reason I pulled the scripture is because you got these Christians only concerned about the New Testament. Then you got certain dudes, they're only concerned about the Old Testament. But when you go to the library and you see a book of 100 pages, are you only gonna ask for the last 30 pages? No, because then you're not gonna understand the whole. Then you're not. If you only ask the last 30 pages, then you're not gonna understand why those things happen in the last 30 pages. If you only ask for the first 70 pages, then you're not gonna understand what the end is gonna be like. Because these Old Testament dudes, they don't understand salvation. How are they gonna get salvation? Because according to the Old Testament, you will still have to live by the laws, and if you don't do that, you're gonna be put to death, or your life is gonna be shorter. Give me that in Proverbs chapter 4. Back in the days, you would live longer if you would keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability. That would decide a long life.
That's what it says that wisdom is the length of days.
Length of days, exactly. Proverbs chapter 4. You got it? Proverbs chapter 4 verse 20. Can you grab Sirach 19 and 19?
Proverbs chapter 4 verse 20. My son, attend to my words, incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thy eyes, keep them in the midst of thine heart. For they are life unto those that fight, and health to all their flesh.
Exactly, it's life unto those that find it, and health unto your flesh. Because you got the dietary laws. If you keep the dietary laws, you're gonna be in a healthy state, man. If you watch what you eat, then you're not gonna feel fucked up, man. There's something called the gut-brain connection. If you have a healthy gut, you are able to think more clear, man. You're sharp, you wake up good, you know, you have a better concentration. No, and the Most High chose certain animals to be clean and certain animals to be unclean. And the Most High has his reasons for that. The scripture doesn't explain you why. If you go into some research of these animals, then you're going to understand why. But the Most High never intended you to know. He just wanted you to keep it. You know, just don't eat these things.
Just listen.
Just listen.
Yeah, obey.
Yeah, man.
Obey him.
But because the scripture even says that the Most High rather wants you to obey than to sacrifice.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, okay. So that's it, man. The Most High wants you just to obey, man. Why? He doesn't need your sacrifice per se.
Yeah.
He wants you to listen to his words. Then you don't have to sacrifice.
Wholehearted and faithful.
Of course, you have the daily sacrifice and the offerings, but the sin offering. So we going into Belgium right now.
Belgium.
So maybe you should put on the Flitzmeister. Put on the Flitzmeister for the brother.
The waist, you mean?
Yeah, waist or Flitzmeister. So yeah, read on.
This is Proverbs 4 verse 10. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many.
Yeah, the years of your life is going to be many if you listen to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's word, which is in the laws, which is being brought out by certain men, which are prophets. They bring out the wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Okay, so you got to attend to those words. Now jump back to verse 21. Oh, yeah, we went off for a while because we couldn't come into Belgium, of course. Read it again.
Verse 23. issues of life.
Yeah, read that again.
Verse 23, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
For out of it are the issues of life. So if you would commit adultery, you would be put to death